So I want to start with my wife, Arizona Brandy. She makes me smile. Like it's she.
This will be alphabetical.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
She brings me joy. I fell in love with her from the second she came on screen. I think what she has is an indomitable spirit, like a child who refuses to give up, and it made my heart feel warmer as the months are getting colder. So Arizona Brandy, girl, just marry me already. I just think you're so incredible. I want you to win so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just has such a genuine, kind, and warm energy. And that's such a rare thing to take you to the top 4. When you really get up there, having run the full gamut of emotions and not, especially like if someone like me can watch the show and not go, okay, this is a lot. By the end, I think you've charmed everyone in a very impressive way.
Tori, I would love to know how you feel about our iced tea queen, Arizona.
I mean, I love her. I love a campy queen. I think she's so fun and so sweet. I think her sass levels are off the charts, and I love that for her because it makes her a very memorable talking head.
Jojo, you watch me fall in love with this girl, and I cannot wait to meet her in person because I'm gonna love her. Jojo, how did you feel about Arizona?
I love her sick vape tricks.
Did you try one yet?
No, and I never will.
That's
Now that she does it, I won't.
However, speaking of the Tony Hawk of vape tricks,
Because I have.
KEVO, tell me, how do you feel about your competition for our marriage certificate?
I mean, I'm definitely not the Tony Hawk of vape tricks, except maybe how I dress. Speaking of how I dress, the fashion on this one, not just drag, but this shirt is so Jonah. Just seems like a very sweet person, and so it's hard not to root for Arizona having gone this far. Maybe cool it on the vaping just a little bit, though. Gosh, worried about you. Worried about your health, sweetheart.
I love it. I love talking about these girls. I love how much I love this season. It's so exciting. Let's talk about our next girl. And this is, I believe, Bernie, right? Mm-hmm. Bernie's honesty was one of the most real things I've ever seen. Evidently, okay, hold on. I asked her about that nose vape trick. It hurts. Okay, so thank you. ASDSS, you're my everything right now.
It doesn't hurt.
So stop it!
Bernie,
If it's weed, it doesn't hurt.
That's the kids.
weed never hurts. So, Bernie's beauty was so exquisite, like a porcelain doll at all times, so incredibly careful, so incredibly delicate, and yet she had the spirit of a fighter. It's so hard to be delicate and a fighter, but I really saw it in her, and it's so exciting to get to see a queen translate like that. It come across language barriers, because Bernie was one of the queens who used the least English in her talking heads, and yet I knew who she was, and I just feel really grateful.
You gotta love a high energy queen, and just the tiny high energy girls, your little Kenya Michaels, those are the ones that just bring you some of the best moments and some of the most like drag joy.
For sure. I mean, it's always lovely having our trans queens on, and I think she represented herself, her new evolution of self so beautifully. I think that I'm still your Bernie was just such a lovely ending for her. And so I love her. I thought she was definitely the heart of the first half of the season, for sure.
Jojo, you feel the burn?
The burn. She is someone to me who proves that comedy is a global language, because even though I could not understand what she was saying without subtitles, I think she was the funniest person there 90% of the time. I also love that she's trying to plead her case to Suki Doll, and she's like, but I don't speak English, so like they couldn't translate to one another. But she's amazing. I adore her.
Kevo, how'd you feel about our unbelievable doll, Bernie?
Another one was just so sweet. I don't know that necessarily she made such an impression on me as to make it to the final. But really just such a sweet lady, such amazing energy.
All right, let's see our next queen that we can't wait to crown with some kind of title. One of the things that was so great about SLAYSIAN, I honestly had not gotten to learn about a lot of new queens in a long time, because we follow so many of the queens that showed up in Global from the things they were pulled from, or we had watched an episode of Germany or anything here. Brigading was, God, it's like finding out, it's like being a fan of Mariah Carey and Jessica Simpson and finding out there's also Christina Aguilera. Like finding out there was this talent hiding in an area that I already knew was so talented was crazy. Brigading is just, she is the entity. Like there is something about her. Her spirit is unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because I don't like, there's so much that you can say about her that is amazing, but she's just gorgeous. And unfortunately I'm going to end up saying the exact same thing about Vinas. Like the two of them just as like peas in a pod and sisters on the show have been really, really fun. They are kind of the Roxy and Detox of this season, and I just have a lot of fun watching them be excellent drag queens and just be absolutely stunning, delivering incredible looks every episode. But yeah, I mean, out of drag too, he's just so cute. Come on.
Yeah.
Super cute. I think I was shaded from Brigading's brilliance in the beginning because I was so I mean, when Khianna walked in, I thought she was going to win the whole thing, and Vinas being so amazing, I didn't see Brigading until some of the smoke had cleared, and I think she's been just killing this across the board. I think she's so sweet and so kind, but so focused. I think she is going to be a very difficult one to beat, and is definitely in my final two.
Speaking of difficult to beat, Jojo, you are a #1 Drag Race correspondent here, and what are your thoughts on Ms. Brigading? I just want to be clear with you guys, he has not shut up about her.
Oh, I adore her. She's my pick to win. I think she's so funny. I love her drag. Even though I have not seen season 1 yet, I can tell that she's having this insane glow up that I think is just kind of a little bit awe-inspiring. So for that narrative, for that kind of storytelling, I think she deserves to win. That's my winner right here.
I love that.
The sentiment that I most want to echo from everyone is definitely a lot of hard work. She definitely is super dedicated, and it shows for sure.
Okay, so this next queen. I want to just say I come from an unfair, overattached to Spanky, kind of very down under place. Spanky, I love you so much. Hey. I don't really come for down under queens as a rule. So I'm not going to this time. Ivory did not have the world's greatest showing in her Down Under season, and I don't know that she gave a global level here, but I know who she is even more, and I'm not done watching her story. I think she is a book that I want to keep reading the next page, And I hope that when I get to see her, it is without the trappings of Drag Race, because she is an amazing queen. She's just maybe not a Drag Race queen, and there's nothing wrong with that. How many artists are your favorite artist of all time and they have 0 Grammys? What's wrong with that? I love Ivory, and I don't think she needs Drag Race to be incredible.
Yeah, that was something I was saying earlier in the episode, and it's something we've talked about. We were talking about last week with UK. Like, Drag Race in some ways is starting to become the showcase for the girls, so that you know who you're going to follow where when they're off of Drag Race, and you sort of stop caring so much about what's going on at the show and who did the best and who's great. You're just seeing like, oh, that's a funny girl. I want to make sure that I, see if she's doing comedy shows. Oh, those two can sing. I want to watch out for an album. And you just kind of start looking at it more that way. You're absolutely right. Ivory is one, maybe not super cut out for Drag Race, but I will say, for one thing, she is an incredible social media queen. Her Instagram is well worth following. She's extremely funny. She's really she is a people's girl. She feels very approachable. And the thing I really want to praise her for more than anything is getting the fucking edit that I hate the most, which is let's delve deeply into the worst parts of your personal life before we send your ass packing home. And it's just truly a diabolical edit. Don't do that anymore, Drag Race. It's so terrible. But I mean, the way that she was so open about, the death of her mother and experiencing the death of her mother and grieving the death of her mother while becoming a Drag Race queen, pretty incredible. And not that one shouldn't be emotional when they do that, or that anybody can't react however they want. But we've had queens with similar experiences who sort of can only tell you what happened, and then they just start to sob so much that the story really can't go anywhere else, and we just have this human moment. This is a person that kept her composure and just talked through the entire thing and really gave a lot of info and a lot of told a lot of her own story.
A real Tia Coffee moment.
Truly.
Yeah.
Which is not an easy thing to do. I love Tia Coffee so much.
And I love the Eurovision coverage.
Yes. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's just something that I'm immensely grateful for her for taking the time and giving to the audience, because it's not anything that anybody is owed.
I think she is such a I think the great testament to how she did on the show is the fact that she seems to be hanging out with the Philippine queens afterwards on her social media. I think that says something to how well she connected with them and the sisterhood that they built. I know she is one of the queens who is physically, locationally closest to that country. But it is something to be seen, and she just seems so sweet, and a lot of bad things just keep happening, and sometimes that's the case. And I think the fact that we've gotten such great glimpses of her is to be lauded for someone who is just barely dragging themselves out of grief.
Oh God, you guys are making me love her even more. Jonah, keep the love train going.
I adore this queen. I think she's just somebody who had an unfortunate first couple of weeks that just didn't really know what to do to translate. But I wish we had to see her again. I thought she brought an interesting perspective. I love Down Under as a series, so I was really happy to see that it got represented. I thought she did great. Sometimes it just, it just doesn't shake out the way you want to, but she didn't even look bad when she went home, which you can't really say for a lot of people in design challenges. So Good for you, gal. Hope to see her again.
Kevo, before you go, I just want to say it's so great to hear from ASDSS that the international queens are currently in the Philippines, and are doing great. That elevates my spirit. And speaking of elevating my spirit, Kevo, how did you feel about Ivory Glaze?
She was gorge, and it was great to see Down Under represented. I miss it. I miss Reese. So hopefully, we find out what he's doing soon, little puppet man. But I'm really glad to hear that so many queens are doing so well, and that she's so ingratiated herself with the rest of the queens from this culture, because I think that is a huge part of what all of this is about. That's what the international seasons are supposed to be about, is, you know, strengthening this RuPaul web.
The next girl, I am just going to give you guys a couple of words. Global winner number 2. That's all
think
I have on Khianna.
Any of those words had the letter K in them.
Oh my God, you stupid boy. That is the best joke. I think Khianna could win global. I don't think it would even be hard. I think she would show up, be funny, and Rue would be like, I'm in love with your heart. This was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. This queen could change drag.
Yeah, I mean, just great attitude, both like, you know, in confessionals, really just like somebody I was charmed by, but then on stage and as a queen was somebody who really could give a lot of face, could give a lot of nasty looks, could show you exactly what she was feeling in a way that just like, you really felt like there is the person and then there's the character, and both of them are awesome, and both of them are
like Alaska.
Yeah,
that level of excellence.
Yeah, and both of them are just really worth following, getting to know. So I think you're right. I would love to see her on many international, and I hope we do get to see her somewhere soon.
Yeah, when they said like she feels like a young Sasha Colby, I felt that. She waltzed on, and I was like, oh, this is our winner. Thank you for showing up at the end to tie it all in with a bow and let us know you're the winner. And I think that she's such a powerhouse strength, and I think it's just that it needs time and seasoning, and she's gonna come back and blow us out of the water on whichever show she ends up dominating next.
Jonah, what you got?
Classic, creative, all with K's. I adore this queen from the first episode. I was smitten. I really thought from that first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna win. Oh my god, we just saw the winner in the first episode. And I think similar to Isis on Canada versus the World 1, I think coming back so quickly off of your season might have just been a little too tiring for someone. Some people could do a workhorse thing where they just immediately go back, but I think for most people in general, a break would have been good. Even just a year to just like not have to get into competition mindset, because these days are grueling. Number one, drag is not comfortable. Drag is not easy to be around in. They're standing in drag for 6 to 8 hours for filming, and take on that the mental toll of having to do challenges, having to succeed, having to be XYZ, whatever. It's a lot. And so to do it back to back, I imagine maybe wasn't the best for her. But she's incredible. She's amazing. I love the way she performs. I think Rue would piss herself watching her perform. The way that she splats on her back, like the amount of air this woman gets, I'm a little concerned that, like, I think she's a fairy. I think she has wings. I love her.
She's got bird bones. She's got those Simone Biles bird bones.
Bird bones.
Bird bones.
Careful, her bones.
Oh, that hurt. There's a 30 joke.
No one gets her references. The real trouble with how wide this net has become and how huge this network has become with all of these internationals and all-stars is that you kind of can't have the guarantee of coming on one of these and winning right away. We've seen that you kind of need to be put through your paces sometimes. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. I think that she deserves a crown, and I want to see her fight for it.
Yes, I want to see her fight. Someone I never want to see fight again. I just want to see them have an incredible life. Je t'aime, chatron, j'ai hâte de te voir. I love you, Kitty. I genuinely appreciate your fashion. I love you. God, this was just not what I wanted for you. I brag about being Cuban because it's a brag. But I took French, and like the French language, French artistry. God, Kitty, I got you. and I just was sad to see you not do better. You're just so great.
Top, safe, win, out.
That's
a banger track
It's
record.
crazy.
And again, like that's the heart of Drag Race. Going out like that, I think, is actually. I know it was early, and I know that sucks because you don't get to show your whole package, and you want to stay longer. Of course, you want to be there for more, but it is what a way to go. What a way to play the game and experience the game and show people that you're here to do exactly that. And I think she was so like fashion forward, and I do think what a signature that the other girls, a lot of them said, like, a bunch of these international girls were not at our level, but Kitty should have stayed this week. I thought she really left her mark.
Yeah. And I think this was so. I think one of the things about Kitty is that it was such a. You could really tell that this was not based on track record. That this was not based on so much how not well she had been doing, because she had been doing quite well. I think this was a complete loss on a social game, and it was a shame to see. When I saw that. Because I don't watch immediately. I don't watch at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays, but I sometimes get filtered through who gets eliminated, and then we'll watch the sneak peek sometimes. And I did that in the opposite order, and I was like, how did Miss Kitty get eliminated after she won? And then I saw her pull that lipstick out, and I went, oh no, that's how you got home. And I think that's a shame. I think she's got a lot to show, and I think she's going to do quite well based on how this all worked out for her.
Jonah, talk to us about our Kitty Space.
Kitty Space, I really like this queen, and I know it sounds like I was stalling to find my words. I was not. I adore this queen. I think she's pretty great. I thought she brought a perspective that I think was kind of needed, talking about being of Asian descent in a country where that's not prominent, and when you're not surrounded by Asian culture. She herself was adopted and kind of identifying a little bit more with French than her Asian heritage, but being excited to explore it. I think that was a perspective that was really beautiful, and I wanted that to be explored more. I just kind of wish that the show gave her a little more credence, because I think she's great. I think she's incredible. So I'm happy we got to see more of her. I'm happy she got to have a challenge win. That's still always the exciting thing about a show that's international or brings people back, is that they get to kind of give people wins who didn't have a challenge win before. Mm-hmm. That's always exciting to me, because it's they just got the first challenge win. That's amazing.
I love that.
I love you pointing to her, talking about her culture and using this as an opportunity to get better in touch with her heritage. Because again, that's one of the things that means the most to us when we see it on any iteration of this show. Any international, any domestic, any culture. It's so important that people get to talk about these things that are important to them, even if it doesn't get as singularly highlighted or enough time as we would hope. Just being able to say it at all, that is the first step forward to more communication. And we're always communicating with these queens. They're on social media, and so the fact that she can now be more encouraged to talk about that aspect of her life, I really hope that she takes that opportunity, because I think that's so great, and it's one of the gifts of this franchise. That and our love of trains.
Okay, first of all, there are not enough trains that we get to talk about all the time, but I am so glad that you said that, because I don't know if you guys know, so I am weirdly obsessed with Luxembourg. Luxembourg has free public transportation for everyone, but also there are 3 national languages of Luxembourg, and I feel like we lost out on Madame Yoko, who is actually Lux herself, and this was a queen that I felt like maybe suffered from the generic, you can't have a mustache in your confessionals and also stay around. I don't know. I was a little bummed out by this elimination. I thought that she really seemed like an amazing queen. I thought like she could have given us a great season. But Madam Yoko, it was really wonderful having you for a hot minute, and I look forward to seeing whatever I get of you in the future.
Yeah, it's never easy being the first out, because, you know, we unfortunately don't have as much that we can say because we just didn't get to go on the journey with you. But there was not a single thing where I was like, it's good that she's the first out. I would want to, I don't need to hear any more from her. And that is something that happens on Drag Race. Like, there are girls who go and you're like, that's fine. And, you know, that doesn't mean you wouldn't want to see them at a bar, wouldn't want to be impressed by them later, but it happens on the show and you're just like, that's okay. This was one of those. This was absolutely one where, you know, unfortunately somebody did have to go first, but I did kind of mark that I would have loved to have seen more.
Agreed. Like, this was definitely one of those where I was like, oh no, this was not the decision I would have made, but I think it's a shame. It's always a shame when someone goes home first, particularly when it is on, we actually have an elimination first episode, which is something that we do rarely see these days. So that always feels a little bit extra hard. So.
Love it. Jonah, what you got?
I feel so bad for Madam Yoko. Like we just keep saying, being the pork chop, being the first eliminated is not easy. Truthfully, any competition show. Least of all, I put Drag Race as one of the harder shows to go out to be like one of the earlier acts because it kind of just blows a little bit. She seems like she has a lot to promise. I wonder if she would ever come back for like a Versus the World, maybe in front of Brew or in Canada. That might have helped maybe a little bit more, but I appreciate, again, similar to Kitty Space, someone who was talking about their identity and feeling that kind of like pull of this is what I'm born with, this is how I identify and look like. It's not what I see around me, it's not the culture I grew up in. And I wish we got to see a little bit more of her story. I think she got a little bit of the short end of the stick when it came to that Untucked, that episode. All I will say is she's somebody who I am very interested in. I would love to see her in Belgium, just to even get a little bit more of Madame Yoko, and I hope to see her again in the future.
And if I would want to say something especially about Madame Yoko and the fact that we didn't get more time to know her, it's to kind of echo what Tori said, which was that, gosh, it was disappointing that this is a great opportunity to have a nobody goes home on the first week. Like I've been saying, that's the idea of these international shows, is to get to know these girls and have them bring their culture. And so this would be a show where I would want first 2 episodes with the full cast to give people more time to be seen. But hopefully we hear about a Global All-Stars again sometime soon, or some other Versus the World, and she can get another chance to shine.
So, one time, my mother was at Home Depot and was buying light bulbs, and they were supposed to be on sale, and they weren't. And my mother had a moment after she bought the light bulbs at full price. She smashed them in the bag in the checkout, and that is what I feel happened to Siam Phusri in this season. And I'm saying that because there is no woman I love more than my mother, and I think the most beautiful, incredible woman who ever lived, my mother. Again, you're all wrong if you disagree. I believe that Siam Phusri was in a situation where she was did you just whisper KEVO? Because you're correct. She was I have been judged by my worst day, and I think that is the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I would not want that to ever happen to me again. And Siam Phusri, you are a beautiful, incredible queen, and you should never be judged by your worst day. And I really hope this isn't how people remember you, because you're fantastic.
that outburst was genuinely less confusing and upsetting than Melinda's with gratitude on Canada. So that's why I keep being like, it's mostly like, it's funny. You got up on a table and yelled. It wasn't even that. We didn't understand what was going on, but it was a lot less charged than we've seen a lot of other interactions. So, you know.
TK, how did you feel about the Forgotten Sanderson's sister? Oh, well, try again, because I think she might have put a spell on you.
Yeah, I was so emotional I had to mute myself. This is the Down-Ass Queen. And she also left right at that time. This is an Alyssa Edwards type. This is one of those girls that didn't do bad on Drag Race, did actually quite well, and left in a place. Also, had a win, had lows, had highs. Left in a place where you can't say she didn't get any time, but she wasn't in the top. And now I just feel like hers is a name that I would look for on a tour, and I would be really excited to see. She gave incredible looks. She was right to get the critiques that she got, but her faces look was a fantastic idea, and had it been fully structurally sound and just like slightly more polished, would have been like one of the most memorable looks, like with great execution in Drag Race history. Great heart, just all around a really good, solid queen that I really hope to see working for a long time to come.
Yeah, I think she's got so much heart. I don't know. I wasn't that fazed by her getting up on that table, because she wasn't yelling at any of the girls. She was yelling about her futures, and I don't think that that's that aggressive. But I also grew up in a very specific family, so I thought she was great. I thought she was my other guess for who might be able to beat everybody out and make it to the top 5 with these girls. And I think her version of drag was just a little too left of the center that they were looking for, and in a way that wasn't so. I think she suffered from being close but not quite a lot of times, and I think that's unfortunate, because I think she has so much to bring, and I think she brought so much of her culture into each and every piece of her runway that it was admirable and just really reflective of who she is.
I agree. I think she's a beautiful queen. I love that she's a drag queen that just more is more. She loves, excessiveness, and I appreciate that. She's a maximist. Mm-hmm. Sure, let's go with that. I think she's endearing and charming and enjoyable and very fun to watch. I think that she was just kind of having a moment. Like you said, Tori, it's not like she was like being this way towards anyone in particular. She was just kind of having a moment. She took it for herself. Yeah. They're drag queens. Yeah. Do they not do this all the time anyway? Like, it really was not as big of a deal. I imagine it might have been like a little bit weird or awkward in person, but like, I will not forget, like, when it first started, Yuhua was like, yeah, she like stands up, and then she's like, oh, she's not like doing a little bit
something's going on.
Oh no.
Let me, little bit more distance.
Let me sit back down. And yeah, it was just a little weird, but when are we not all a little weird at some point? I hope that like Nico said, I hope she isn't remembered by a bad day that she had. I hope she's doing better if it wasn't, she wasn't the best place for it. I can say this, there are less memorable people on the show, and I don't think we'll ever really kind of forget that.
Nope.
And I want to build on you talking about her being a maximalist, because I also, it's also such minute details, too, on everything that she does. And it's such artistry. And I think, we will hopefully see more from her, because the art is there. And she was great. She was entertaining. That's all you're supposed to be.
And, one of the things that's so important about being entertaining is that I feel like what I was saying earlier, where Suki is so incredible at making other girls look beautiful, feel beautiful, shine. That is such an important part of what Drag Race has become. The sisterhood, the camaraderie. And I feel like Suki really represented an ideal here for me. She is someone whose brand is making other people's outfits in many ways. And she showed up and still had her own identity. That's incredible. So I just think that Suki has really made a name for herself as like the fashion queen, but also managed to really shine.
Yeah, she's a really strong performer too. We didn't talk much about the Rusical, and that's probably okay. But I really did think her performance, she won for that performance, or she was in the top for that performance. And I think she really did do an incredible job. She really did a fantastic Michelle Yeoh adjacent impression and just had really great stage energy, and that was not the only time that she did. Again, just all around a really strong queen, and absolutely won. I would not have bet on her for the top 4, and it was more of like I don't know, she didn't quite stand out from the pack in terms of presence and energy, especially when they were sort of off stage. But then every episode I was like, oh no, she did really well. Oh no, she's really good. Oh no, that's really good. Oh, when you add it all up, like, of course she's supposed to be there. And of course I'm really stoked that it's a top 4 and that it, she was included.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I am, while I don't know for me personally if I felt that Suki did well enough in that lip sync to stay in comparison to how Venus did, I am very happy to have her in the top 4. I think she's fantastic. I think she is definitely proving that you can be primarily a designing queen and still come out and perform extremely well. And I think that's something that kind of a lot of the super design girls get hit with is you do great work behind the camera, but you don't do it in front of it. And I think she's bringing a lot of really, really great stuff onto the field that is obviously working cross-culturally, internationally, across language barriers. And I think she's just really a really shining example of what these international editions can bring to the forefront.
Jonah, you are positive like Hands Across America handing people a Coke. And you are even incredibly positive on the Canadian queens, how they have performed. You were so positive on Suki Doll. How do you feel about her performance in the season where you were incredibly encouraging?
I was super excited that she got to come back. I think she's an extremely stunning queen. Her eye for fashion, her ability to design and create looks, I think is really kind of unparalleled. Part of the reason why Brooke looks so amazing on Canada's Drag Race is because Suki dresses her. And, Brooke is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, knows how to walk a look. So that helps when your muse is gorgeous. So I was really excited to see what she would do. I think she's kind of brought the fashion every single week, every single episode. It's been kind of incredible seeing her kind of blossom and have an area where she can shine. I was a little nervous of how she was going to do in some of the performance challenges because she wasn't the strongest on Canada 2, but she's done relatively well and good, and I was so surprised and heartwarmed with how well she has been doing. So I'm so happy to see her in the finale. I would have been upset if she didn't make it. I'm really glad that she's the international representation for Drag Race SLAYSIAN Royale, and I think she has a good shot at winning. I adore her.
And speaking of incredible muses, KEVO, how do you feel about Suki Doll?
She's been great. I agree with Tori in that that lip sync wasn't necessarily the clincher. So again, so much of I just wish this had been part 1 of a 2-part finale. I don't know what climactic ending they would have given this episode instead. Maybe they could have, all duked it out for order that they would perform next week for the finale. I don't know, because I get where you want to lip sync at the end. But, she earned her place, and like Jonah said as well, I'm glad that she is the international queen for this finale, and I'm excited to see how she does.
And speaking of girls that I think I wanted more for, and I got it for Suki, I really didn't get it for Something Wong. First of all, don't feel great saying her name, but beyond that, I think that one of the things about Something Wong is that she is such a real person queen. I don't know how else to say it, but like, you hear people that when you hear them sing, you're like, oh my god, to be in the room with them changes their voice. Something Wong has a personal energy, has like a vibe, and I just feel like to be in the room with her, I can totally understand why every casting agent puts her on. I can totally understand why she is so celebrated enough to get onto a show like this. But there is a certain kind of magic that cameras just don't know how to pick up, and I'm going to assume that that's why Something Wong just does not thrive the way she deserves to. I hope that she's killing it, but I am so sorry that her track record is certainly not what she's looking for.
Yeah, definite bummer. But again, hopefully she's booked and blessed in her own life and doing her thing. The thing I really want to give her props for is she had the reaction that I just always wish people would have when somebody says, oh, I picked your lipstick, where she just went, yeah, you have to pick somebody. It's just really not a big deal. There are so many opportunities for drama on Drag Race. And if you want to make good TV, there are so many ways to do it. But the argument of like, oh, you with only two options chose me, I'm now furious. I am now going for it is just, it's so dumb. I think a totally fair one is, oh, well, when it was your turn, you picked me, and I didn't know who to pick when it was my turn, so I picked you. That's a totally fair one. Like, there's a bunch of really fair ones, but like, it just annoys the shit out of me. And so
that's why I eliminated you from Verse the World.
Blammo. I think I really just appreciated that she just had a cool girl answer, just was very chill about it, and just reminded me that why I think she's just a sweet queen.
Oh, am I not hearing? Is it a me thing?
No, I don't hear Tori
Nope,
either.
it's a me thing.
We found her. She's amazing.
It's a me microphone.
It's a me microphone. I saw Jonah do it. I thought I'd get into it, and then I forgot.
Microphone, bro.
For me, I think that there is something very obvious about Something Wong that makes them something white in the room. It's very obvious that they're charming and care deeply about drag and about representing themselves and where they come from. And I think that that there was a feeling of our this is where my darker conspiracy theories of are you Asian enough kind of start. Is with the disinterest in seeing how Asian culture can meld with other culture and create something that is still very deeply Asian without it's a Chai Tea Grande on UK this week put it very, very perfectly, that being beautiful. Two halves does not mean that you are only half of something. You are still two wholes. You are a greater something for it. And I think that that was something that haunted the early episodes of the show that I might have been a little too sensitive to, coming from a culture that is not the Philippines. And I think that Something Wrong fell victim to that, in nobody getting it. And I think that's a shame, because if you're still going and you're still doing this, and it is so, you're performing it at this level again and again, you're obviously doing something right. So
yeah.
Something Wong is a very funny queen, and I enjoyed her on her original run, so I was excited to see her back again, see how she evolved. And I think the show, in a way, a little bit did her dirty. I think that she was so under her own pressure, and I think the show exploited it a little bit, not terribly much, not like fully threw him under the bus, but to find out that like she recorded the vocal, the little runoffs and the little extras that she did, and then when they first performed it, they weren't there, or they told her that they weren't going to be in them, so she didn't lip sync them, and to use that against her is a little shady. I also don't know if she was handling the pressure she was putting herself under to do well the best. It seemed like she had a little bit of more of a bite compared to UK season 1, and I think it unfortunately led to some awkward moments, but I hope she doesn't feel defined by those, and I hope the fandom doesn't define her by those moments solely. I hope people are like, maybe she just had a bad day. She just might have just had a bad day and she just didn't know how to react, and the entire situation is a pressure cooker designed to make people explode. And for people to kind of have a little bite or be a little more shady than they might be intended, really still wasn't as bad as other people, so.
Yeah, and I don't think that I don't think what Tori is saying is unfair, and I don't think that we are saying anything to come for this franchise or production by saying it. It is very frequently even just an unconscious bias that happens. I think that we are all keeping a very close eye on how the Irish Queen is going to be doing on Drag Race UK this season, because they are making a big deal out of that. So,
yes,
these things are part of the conversation, and as for as much as I praised a queen earlier getting a chance to talk about her culture, we also need to make sure that we are keeping aware and making sure that this is what it is intended to be, which is a blending of all of these cultures coming together.
And speaking of what people are intended to be, you guys know how like Jojo Levesque is meant to be a singer? Like when you hear Jojo sing, like, Get Out, and it's a little too late.
Right. Okay.
When you hear Jojo Levesque sing, you literally think her voice is for music. When I see Vinas, she is for drag. That is hers. That is her right. That is her art. She makes it a celebration. I am grateful that I got to be a part of a Vinas season, because even if she's not my choice for a winner, she's a winner. She's not my choice, but I'm not Mama Pao, so it doesn't matter. I am just so excited to celebrate this queen no matter what. She's so talented and she deserves to be here.
Yeah, she is she's excellent. She's got it all. She's got the charisma, she's got the uniqueness, she's got the nerve, she's got the talent. She has been my follow character for this season. I have been watching it on her shoulder, and it's been a great journey. I think she is really one of the greats, and that mythical creature look, I just will never stop thinking about. What just an absolute banger that was.
It was so fantastic. She's so fantastic. She stole my heart from the moment that I saw her walk out. I think she's just absolutely amazing. I can see why she's resonating so well with the audiences. I can see why I love her. She's gorgeous. And I just think that it really can, between her and Brigading, I don't know who I think is going to take it, but those are my final two for sure. And I think Vinas Deluxe is just absolutely fantastic, and I think could probably come over here to America and do a couple of cities or join a tour and do quite well.
As this show's number one JoJo, who is never too late, how do you feel about the incomparably talented Vinas Deluxe?
She was like 13 singing that, and we were all like, yes, girl, you know exactly what we're talking about.
So there are two different JoJos.
No, it's the one JoJo. Her name is JoJo.
There's JoJo Siwa, there's me, JoJo, and then there was a singer in the early aughts, JoJo.
So I've had the small problem of that. I thought JoJo Siwa was older than she was.
And then there's Casey and JoJo.
That's also very different.
Who are actually also in Jodeci, don't forget.
I do forget.
But it's not too late. Can't move on. am very fascinated
Heard
by
you in
this
the other
queen. From her initial placement, she's kind of a little bit of an earlier out, and it's like, okay, well, what does she have to bring? What does she have? And she's actually a very stunning queen. I think she has so many talents. The look that she made is probably going to go down one of the most, for unconventional materials, one of the most amazing things someone has ever made in any of these workrooms ever. It was so stunning, so gorgeous. She knows comedy. She knows how to be funny. She has a gorgeous face. I don't know if I 100% vibe with her, but I think she's an amazingly talented queen. And similar to Brigading, if she did win, it would be this beautiful full circle moment of an earlier to mid out who had more to show, comes back to show that they do have it and they could have won if they just had a little bit more time to cook. And so I'm ready to see what the chef brings, and best of luck to her.
I love it. KEVO.
This dragon the demon, she's satanic. No, I'm kidding, obviously. And I kid because I'm part Catholic, part Jewish, part witch, so I've got a lot of jokes. She's super cute, for sure. Her energy is all over the place, where she gives this America Ferrera glam while she's in drag, but then kind of frequently dresses like a 6-year-old. So her energy is just all over the board. But she is so talented. And, seeing someone who was on season 1 of Philippines here, who clearly 7th out, getting to be part of a journey for someone like that, even when it's from a leg of the franchise that we aren't familiar with, is always so exciting. And I'm so excited for her.
And for our final queen, but she's certainly not last. You know what? If you don't get Yuhua, you don't get New York. She's fuck you. She's the subway. She is so cool. She's so fun. She is standing against the barricade, trying to get into Pride. She's so New York. She is Dirty Water Dogs. She is a pretzel on Fifth Avenue. I think she is the fucking bee's knees, and I hope that Yuhua never stops being a New York queen.
I love that you said all that stuff, but didn't mention anything in Chinatown, where she actually lives.
You know what? I don't dox queens. So,
I will say I would have been really cool to have one Asian queen from New York and one Asian queen from Los Angeles.
LA or San Francisco.
Yeah. Joella, we'll see you for season 2, baby.
The original SLAYSIAN queen.
She's been doing quite well on Binge Queen. She's been doing quite well with your girl Melinda, I believe.
But yeah, I mean, this is, of course, this is a classic. This is she is such an amazing queen. Like I said, she didn't show that great on her season, but I think she was really compelling, and she has continued to actively work. And that's all I want. I just want everybody to be working and be happy and be able to do their thing. And so it's been a hot minute since we've seen her. I was really happy to see her here. I've been really happy to get to know her better, for her to have a chance to shine a little bit more, to represent her own Asianness, her own culture, but also to represent America. This is for all of us, East Coast, West Coast, whatever. There's only one American girl there. Although technically not, because Siam is an American citizen.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it was great to have her. I was rooting for her all the way. I loved watching her go as far as she did.
I was so excited she got as far as she did. I was real scared for our girl. I remember mostly what I had written down from her season 10 was, reminds me of Bianca's face. I like her. And so I had to recalibrate a little. But I think she was so fun. I think this is another one where the excellence of her work on the show is about how the other queens reacted to her, how they felt like she was their mother, she was their heart, like she was so important to them, which I don't feel that I saw reflected on camera, and so it was a little bit of a surprise on her last episode. But I just think that is just a testament to how she can still be like a regularly working queen in New York who people know who she is and come to her for dresses as well, because she is also a damaged seamstress.
I adore this bootleg queen. And that is not me calling her a bootleg. That is her own brand. That's what she does. I love everything that she does. She's kind of just leaned into being in like a kind of a goofy personality where it can be fun. Drag can be, it doesn't have to be, you know, glitz and glam, Violet Chachki of it all. It can kind of be a little bit more fun, a little bit silly, and not as extreme 100% showgirl caliber. It can be its own form of beauty. And I know that sounds shady, but I'm trying not to be shady because I think
no, it's not shady. It's Canal Street. It's fine.
I think she's great. I adore her. I was so happy to see her on the list. I'm so happy she got a challenge win. She's made me so happy and proud this entire season. So I hope she feels like great that like she kind of did that.
And you know, I love Tori saying mother vibes because that reminds me, you know, again, so much of beyond just regular drag race competition or drag versus other countries competition. We always talk about how we want more diversity of content from how we are seeing queens compete. Drag mother competition or something like that. That's a wild new idea. We talk a lot about wanting to see comedy competition, you know, more things like that. So I am advocating once again for all new programming of that style. More Glam Slam, please, goodness gracious. That was such a cute little fashion competition series. Doesn't even have to be that long, but you know, you have all of these amazing talents with a whole variety of skill that you could be showcasing in so many different ways. So check out our Glam Slam coverage for sure. Yeah, I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for what we have still yet to come